A back-to-back here in Kendall Ice Arena where the Miami Hurricanes Division III squad look to get back-to-back wins in a weekend series, the first time all season. After a commanding 10-3 win versus the North Florida Ospreys yesterday, they look to repeat today on the second of a back-to-back for the Division III for the University of Miami Division III hockey side against the UNF Ospreys. Ryan Lee and the rest of our University of Miami Hockey Network crew with you here. Miami in the white, they'll go from right to left, while North Florida, they're in the all blues from left to right. A quick little start off here as Miami just try to get things going into the attacking end, where 15 seconds yesterday, there was a 1-0 lead already to start the game off, as history will not repeat itself twice as we already burned through the first 20. As this one's attempted interception at center, it goes for Keyser, stripping it away from Asher Berman. Diaz takes a bump, allows Hartung to give some space to Jonathan Nas. A 4-goal performance yesterday for Nas, just to charge in, wrap around attempt. Elects for the pass instead, couldn't get anything through for Schultz. Nas again, tries to go tight, backhander, scramble aside the net. Eventually trickles across the line and out for UNF as they make the clear. Icing against the Ospreys as we take some time to look at our starting netminders. Matt Maroney will take the net for North Florida. The second season goaltender from Jacksonville makes his 9th start of the season. 3-5 he is when he starts the net, 8.9 goals against average, with Jamie Brooks in white taking the other net with his 9 starts with the Division III side. He has only one win on the season that came last night with Division III, but he's been perfect in 2 starts with the D2 side, who are in Embry-Riddle on this weekend series. The Division II side for Miami, they took a 3-2 win on the road against Embry-Riddle, as this Division III side got that commanding 10-3 win over UNF. Both sides, I'm sure, are looking to make lightning strike twice, as Henry Skinger tries to get it on frame but couldn't get past Schultz. Skinger picks it up once more, tries to look for an option, back to the point. Michael Nas from range, Siegerman couldn't get a tip, but Del Duco on the recovery. Del Duco couldn't hit his man, but the hand swat keeps this one in the UNF side, as Del Duco couldn't do it again, and now it's a foot race with Diaz and Michael Nas. 2 minutes deep into the first period of play, as both Maroney and Brooks have not seen pretty much anything so far, as Ethan Block could not corral, as Shara Buriak could not race after that, after making the change and icing against the Ospreys, who have had quite an uphill climb this season, to say the least. Only 3 wins on the season so far. Only one of them have come in regulation. That one was back on the 22nd of November. That marked the 2nd win for UNF on the season, their first in regulation, and that concluded a back-to-back with the USF Bulls before making their way to Kendall are the Ospreys back in possession. Captain Shara Buriak, that one's handed down. Berman tries to get up close. Koo from a tight angle, couldn't get it through. Berman again, hack and whack in front of the net. Hartung holds on. Hartung couldn't keep with Koo, and Koo keeps it alive. Hartung in tight, gets it pushed away by Matt Maroney, goes up, out of play. This will be back inside of the UNF side, and Maroney already having to make the first couple of saves on the game so far, with Jamie Brooks having been relatively clean after Andrew Miller took the start yesterday. It's an opportunity for both netminders for UNF to get some action as Maroney squeezes tight after deflection by Berman. Berman, an excellent game yesterday with a pair of goals, wanted to go for 3 on the weekend. Asher Berman, the freshman from the Chicago South Eagles, has had quite an exceptional season so far. Despite having struggled in the first 14 games of the season, was able to light the lamp a couple of times yesterday after a 2-goal performance last night. Berman keeps it alive for the Canes, sent all the way down where it's kept by John Raish. Raish can't keep it in. Hartung from behind, stripped away by Keyser. Keyser and the Ospreys send it down. Jonathan Nas will take no icing this time, as Berman and Nas were not on the same page. And now it's a chance in front for Jeremy Diaz to create something. He's got some assistance with John Manger. Magner into the corner. No one able to get it free. Hartung eventually does. Hartung up and out. Andrew Roberts with Jeremy Diaz, who was able to spring some things loose for UNF, not just yesterday, but all season long. He's been one of the key contributors for this Osprey side, as they have to look back as Miami wants to start with Dylan Siegerman at center. Andrew Hutchins prevents Siegerman from continuing onward, but it comes back towards center ice. Michael Nas for Ethan Block. Block, he laid out his man Roberts, and the Ospreys send it down. No sustained zone pressure. Something that was really a struggle for the Ospreys yesterday was keeping sustained zone pressure. Miami had all of it yesterday, and they're back on it again with Block in tight. He's got a man draped all over him, and the Ospreys eventually collect and clear. Jeremy Diaz swings through the flurry of white as his side makes changes. Distance try from Diaz, gobbled up by Brooks. And that, aside from icing, is the first whistle of the game. A couple of icings. That was the first shot that Jamie Brooks had to face, where he has been excellent for both the D2 and D3 side. He's the #1 for this UMD3 team, and he plays as one of the two backups to Max Hoffman on the D2 side, as that attempt whistles wide of Brooks' net as Del Duco tried to evade a hit. Siegerman for Block. Gets pushed aside as Carson Schultz eventually gets it clear, and a quick little stutter from San Filippo allows him to enter the zone. Not quite, as that was a poke at the last minute from Henry Skinger. And Block gets it out, and this should be enough for icing. It will be. With Tom Amello in the Division II side up in Daytona, going up against the Embry-Riddle Eagles. The interim head coach for this Division III side, Vincent Shipp, has been riding the ship so far, really talking about what is going to be needed for this UM side to succeed in back-to-back nights against the North Florida Ospreys. Just talking about keeping the shifts nice and short, and especially with the condensed bench, and also some of the performances from yesterday, that the fatigue is really what will kill us in the long range, especially with back-to-back games. And it's an opportunity. Henry Skinger trying to fight off his man as Maroney has to hang tight and covers up. So Maroney was able to get a glove on that one after Skinger was held up by the grapple of Andrew Hutchins. And Hutchins making a nice defensive stop for the second-year man out of Jacksonville, playing in game number 25 of his college hockey South career. And one of the only 3 defensemen on this UNF roster, as their 18 skaters only house 3 defensemen. They're dealing with a condensed bench as well, as a chance up in front goes wide off of the stick of Asher Berman, who is back on the chase. Berman has to deal with Diaz as he's getting pinched along. Magner at center. Magner and Berman fight for it. Siegerman moves it along. Behind Maroney's net. Just a little under 14.5 in the first. Hartung winds up, hits the ceiling, and that will be a whistle. Miles Hartung, not necessarily the most offensive of defensemen, but he most certainly has made his impact felt, regardless of whether he goes to the D2 or the D3 side. That big frame, 6'4", 187 Miami native for the first-year defenseman. He's continuously stepped up on the play every single time, where he'll wind up from the point. That time he did, but he flubs on the chance. And Jeremy Diaz, he might have a chance on Sheraburiak. Diaz couldn't get past the stick check of Sheraburiak. And that was the brilliant defensive play from Arthur Sheraburiak, the freshman from Fort Lauderdale, who most likely prevented the first goal from going in for the UNF Ospreys. And that was something that was a little bit troublesome for UNF, was keeping any sort of sustained opportunities, considering how Miami did not just outplay them, but they also outshot them significantly as well. So UNF will try to make any opportunity go, especially with the counterattack being as dangerous as it was yesterday. Henry Skinger on the entry, 3-on-1, lets that one go. Maroney hangs on. Matt Maroney won his last start on the 17th of January in that 9-8 win versus USF. That was back on the early part of January. As that attempt couldn't get through, it hit a barrage of blue, and now Jeremy Diaz sprung loose. Diaz from distance over the net as it hits the corner. Henry Skinger keeps that one away from the blue line, so UNF are unable to enter as they were offside. Michael Nas continues to fight. Ethan Block off the bench keeps this puck moving for Nate Koo. Wants Skinger, but that one went behind his back as Carson Schultz gets the interception. 7 minutes into the first period. Both Brooks and Maroney have been perfect thus far. Behind Brooks' net, back to the point goes Hutchins. Lets that one go, took a deflection off of a leg, and Brooks was able to read it through. Skips over Shiraburiak. Keeps it alive for Del Duco. Block. Keeps it up top for Schultz. Wanted to let that one free, but it's held on by John Raish. Raish couldn't do much of anything, so that springs Nate Koo loose on the near side. He's all alone as the rest of the Canes change. Koo tries to weave through. Couldn't find a man. Hartung off the bench. Hartung lets it go, and Maroney gobbles it up. Before this weekend series began, UNF lost their last 6 prior to the back-to-back wins they had versus USF to conclude the 2024 stretch and to begin the 2025 portion of their season. And those 2 wins were something that the Ospreys were hoping that could spring them some momentum into this latter portion of the season, but luck has not been on their side yesterday, considering how things went from bad to worse for them as they just try to continue to fight along. Raish pushes it upward for Lauer. Hartung there first. Around it goes, and it's held up by Nate Koo. Koo in tight, waits for reinforcements, slides it through. He wanted Siegerman. They are not together, but Shiraburiak comes in support. Koo continues to fight for Siegerman. Siegerman wants to go back for Koo, but that goes off of a UNF defender, and it skids into the corner. Hartung around for Siegerman. He just got leveled, Siegerman does, but Koo is back on it. Koo in tight, wants Berman behind the net. Berman with Koo, looking for an opportunity, lets it go, and that goes off of the post. Whistle goes, pushing in front of the net. It's Siegerman, and it's Roberts. Roberts through Siegerman's stick, and we have a whistle and some separation. There was definitely a tussle in front of the net. A delayed penalty was already on the books. And we saw a bunch of this last night where what would have been a UNF penalty kill turns into a 4-on-4 sequence because of some retaliation by Miami. That's the exact case that happens right here as the UNF player makes his way into the penalty box. Dylan Siegerman will join alongside. And this 5-on-5, what could have been a power play, now becomes 4 aside. As the scorekeepers try to put it on the board, there we go. We've got Siegerman sitting for Miami for a pair with 11-13 in the first. And for both teams, special teams really played a huge factor. UNF getting one of their 3 goals on a power play. Miami was able to do it shorthanded, really making use of that extra space which has not necessarily been abundance of them because teams like to play them right in front of their face man-on-man a lot of times throughout the season. Roberts and Siegerman, coincidental penalties, kept in by Henry Skinger. Continues to push for the puck forward, and he eventually gets it deep. Carson Schultz will hold as Keyser takes a touch. 1:30 remains, 4-on-4. Hartung tries to body off Keyser. Through the 5-hole of Michael Nas, can't get it out. Schultz lets it go, wide of the net. A chance for Asher Berman to make use of the space. Berman holds on, takes Skinger, as Berman got buried into the boards, and opportunity comes in reversal for Owen Keyser. Diaz, Keyser's offside. 10 1/4 in the first with 1:04 remaining in the 4-on-4. And with Miami and UNF, both of them have only 3 wins apiece. 3-10-0 for UNF, 3-9-3 for UM. And those 3 wins are both tied for the second fewest wins in the 3rd division of CHS, tied with each other, and only Alabama Huntsville has the least, as Bama Birmingham has yet to get their first win of the season, as we're offside back-to-back, only burned off 5 seconds there. And the win yesterday versus UNF ends a 7-game winless drought for UM, where they had 5 losses and 2 draws within that 7-game stretch. Eventually the Canes able to poke it loose for Schultz to take it back. Down the ice. Did it take a touch? It did not. So this will come back towards the Ospreys' end as Miami take the icing in their advantage. And with the Division II side playing later this afternoon, there's a potential opportunity for a 4-game sweep, something that Miami has not done since starting the 2-team system that was introduced this season, 24-25. They have yet to have a 4-game sweep between Divisions 2 and 3. The closest they got was against USF in the beginning portion of November, but that one was a win and a draw for this D3 side. As that one slapped in deep, Sheraburiak waits for the 5-on-5. The interception by Lauer. Nothing much to make of it, as we're back to 5 aside. And no icing called against Miami as it's held on by the Ospreys. Scherlinger tries to go in deep and eventually is kept in at center by Sheraburiak. Sheraburiak in deep. Maroney lets that one fly. Hartung at the blue line, sends it well wide of the net. Berman on the chase. Skinger just keeping it in deep. Caden McGraw works it around. He wants Sanfilippo again. Hartung lays out Sanfilippo as Skinger tries to get the recovery. Cannot do so as Sheraburiak is the lone man back with 8.5 in the first. No goals apiece. Hartung off the window for Skinger. As Skinger weaves on through, gets past the check, holds on in front. Berman gets a shot on. Maroney with a kick out. Sanfilippo tries to get it through. Del Duco the roadblock. Now a chance for Lauer. He stumbles and loses control. Siegerman almost had Del Duco, but they were just off by a smidge, and John Raish will start things. Ethan Block. UNF off of a substitution as Block enters, leaves it for Koo. He's getting shoved aside as Del Duco comes in for assistance. And now a chance for Jeremy Diaz to spring the Ospreys on a 2-on-1. Diaz across, just missed the feed for Manger. Magner in front, can't get the shot. Second chance goes wide as Carson Schultz couldn't get it through. No one could bury it on the doorstep. Was McGraw. That one stays in as Block gets it on the second try, and Siegerman, he was just trying to slap it down because they're desperate for a substitution. Our Miami, that flies into the Ospreys bench as we hold on with 7 1/4. Miami Hurricanes have not necessarily had the best of luck when it comes to scoring goals, and both teams have had struggles keeping the puck out of the net. Both of them within the top 6 of this Division III in terms of goals allowed, but so far both defenses have been tight so far. A lot of that could be because of the condensed benches between the Ospreys and the Canes. Miami only dressing 10 skaters today, while North Florida have only put up 12. Jeremy Diaz with a strip in the offensive end. Block keeps it away and out. A chance for Keijer. Sends that one through. No deflection available for Menger. Magner couldn't keep it through. Contains possession. Magner. He wants Keijer. A dog pile in the wall as Keijer tries to keep it alive. Around it goes. Hartung towards the corner. Hartung sends it down. This will be icing. It's been a lot of icings both ways, as the passes haven't been as clean as maybe either team have hoped, both on the Osprey side and the Hurricane side, has led to a lot of these long stoppages and a lot of the broken plays that could have been made because of an errant pass maybe not going where it was intended, and is one of the many reasons why neither side have broken through, Brooks or Maroney. First portion of the period, they were stuck in the UNF end. Now they're stuck in the UM end as Hartung starts the rush. Leaves it behind. Ethan Block couldn't get it through. A nice stick there is Keijer. Reverses direction. Jeremy Diaz into the corner, icing against UNF. North Florida just trying to make anything go to essentially salvage their season. And a lot of that has to do with their struggles when they've had to travel. They're winless in 7 games on the road, 0-7-0 when they have to travel, versus back when they're at home, they are 500 across 6 games. As Henry Skinger works it behind the net, has Jonathan Nas. Nas from an angle, takes a body in front, loose puck in front, no one can get it. Maroney sticks the glove out and covers up. So Jonathan Nas back on the ice after going out a little bit earlier. He was dealing with some equipment issues. I had to go back in the locker room to address those. But Jonathan Nas has been the leader pretty much the whole way through for this Division III side. Has led the team in goals and points the entire way through, including a 5-point performance last night, which included 4 goals. As Jonathan Nas is back on it once more, he slides across. Wanted to give it to Koo, but that one got poked away. As it's Del Duco at center. Del Duco in deep, Maroney will hold. 5 1/4 in this scoreless game. We have not seen much of anything, as last night there were just a flurry of penalties, a flurry of goals as well. But because of some of the erratic nature of yesterday's game, both teams have really put an emphasis on tightening things up, especially defensively today, as Nas for Koo in front, couldn't get the feed. Second try, loose on the doorstep. Berman, it's across the line. Asher Berman, that's 3 goals in 2 games, and he gives Miami the first goal of the game. University of Miami were just trying to work the front of the net. That was something that gave them so much success yesterday, was that traffic in the slot. The scramble in front of Maroney's net. No one is able to locate the loose puck. Asher Berman got the final tip before it crossed the goal line to give Miami the 1-0 lead. 4:50 left in period one. Now an opportunity to spring Jonathan Nas loose. He weaves through. Nas from a sharp angle, wanted to go top corner. Missed the net entirely. Berman back on. Berman takes a bump. Koo helps him out. And eventually UNF take it back. Del Duco couldn't get it through, so it's Caden McGraw. Del Duco with Shara Buriak up back as Jonathan Nas has a lane. Comes up, tries to weave around his man Roberts. Nas in tight, wants to wrap around, but just a flurry of blue jerseys in front prevent Nas from getting anything through. Now it's the foot race. Shara Buriak with Keijer. Keijer, Skinger chasing back. Brooks with a save. Keijer in front, wanted the feed, but couldn't get it through. Now Jonathan Nas once more shakes off a defender, but not for long. It is back for UNF. A try from distance goes wide from Andrew Hutchins. Hutchins with Hartung behind the net. Shara Buriak wanted to spring Nas free as Skinger comes in to jar things loose. Miami making a substitution, a much needed one, as Nathan Koo gets it out. Distance try, Schultz on for Brooks. Doesn't matter, it's offside anyways. So this will go back towards neutral ice with just under 3.5 in the first. Miami with the early lead. And this is very similar to what we saw from the Canes last night, getting that goal to open up the game. However, after one, it was 1-1 last night. We'll see how things go today as Miami wins the draw. They have to fish for it back in their own corner. Siegerman continues possession, wants block in front, took a block, and held up by Maroney. A beautiful feed in front. Ethan Block had the lane, but that went off of a UNF defender's leg before Maroney was able to swallow it up. .305 in the 305 as the faceoff is won by UNF. Block. Couldn't get all of it, but Siegerman continues the fight. Block from a wide angle across the face of Maroney. Michael Nas. He's got Skinger as he forces the entry. However, that's Magner trying to force things backwards. He gets the strip with Keijer. Magner and Keijer trying to make something work, but they were just the two of them, and it's intercepted. Magner in tight, Nas all over him, and Del Duco prevents anything from going much further, and Siegerman was not happy about the off-target pass. He knew he had a lane had that one went through. And for UM, scoring has really come at a difficulty. They have the second fewest goals in the division. Number 15 of 16 is where they rank their 35 goals going into the weekend. But they got the first one through with Asher Berman from Jonathan Nas and Nate Koo. Skinger couldn't hit the net as John Raish is ready on the other side, but kept in. Jonathan Nas. Nas weaves through. Backhander. Maroney holds things off. Maroney had an assist. Jonathan Nas had an assist, was looking for a goal. And what a great start for some of the guys who really produced big yesterday. We got a chance to see Asher Berman. He has goals in back-to-back. Jonathan Nas has points in back-to-back. Nate Koo, he's got 3 assists between yesterday and today as it falls back to the point. Shara Buriak lets it loose into the glove of Maroney. As we're just under 2 remaining in the first. As the faceoff will go to Maroney's left. Nas in tight, misses the net. Koo, back for Nas, swing and a miss as Sharaburia keeps it in play. Hartung, Koo. Koo behind the net goes Nas, back for Koo. Back for Nas, couldn't get it through. Berman in tight across the net. Koo wants to feed Nas, swing and a miss, second try off the glass. Minute and a half for Miami. They continue to work it in deep. Andrew Roberts. Asher Berman off of a foot, keeps it in as he got double teamed late. Koo wanted to feed Nas up in front, who was all alone, had the pass gotten there, but Kieser keeps things moving. Hartung on net, Maroney in and out of the glove, and eventually the second try gets held on with some assistance by Henry Magner. A lot of interesting mix-ups for Vincent Ship and this Miami side, considering the lack of bodies available. But a chance up tight, couldn't get through as Miami are still working on it with Nate Koo to Jonathan Nas. Nas up tight to Nas. Jonathan to Michael from distance. Jonathan couldn't get the rebound. Jonathan back to Michael. Onto the point, took a deflection, kicked out by Maroney. Del Duco, Michael Nas, 43 to go from distance. Maroney with a gobble up and a freeze at 40.7. Still a 1-0 game. Berman from Nas and Koo, 15-10 into the game. UNF yet to find the space behind Jamie Brooks, as they have to guard the space behind them with the defensive zone draw. That's won by Jonathan Nas. Michael winds up Maroney again. A last-minute change with Miles Hartung coming into the fray. He wants that booming shot that Hartung has provided, as he got one from the point yesterday. But the draw was won by the Ospreys, sent all the way down. Is it enough for icing? It will not be. But Michael Nas keeps it going. Hartung, kind of a hybrid defenseman forward at times, as Nas rips it wide of the net. Second chance in front. Berman couldn't poke it through. Hartung into the corner with Berman, trying to fight off Hutchins. Jeremy Diaz on the reversal with only 5 seconds left. One final opportunity, but Hartung able to use the frame to push Diaz aside, and that'll do it for period number 1. 20 minutes are in the book. Asher Berman, the lone goal of the first period, as we will keep going. 40 more in play between the Canes and the Ospreys. Second period coming up. More from the University of Miami Hurricanes when we return, and a quick thank you to our friends. And a quick thank you right before we sign off to our friends at Wells Fargo Advisors. For your financial future needs, go to Wells Fargo Advisors, the first sponsor of the University of Miami Hockey Network. Also, feel free to support the Miami Hurricanes the entire way through on Venmo. Scan the QR code now to support University of Miami men's hockey every chance they get. Every bit counts. Thank you so much for the support all the way around. 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Period 2 when we return. Back here at Kendall Ice Arena, it's currently 1-0 after one period of play. We've got University of Miami forward Asher Berman with me. Asher, it's been a huge weekend with you so far. You got the opening goals to start off today, 2 last night. What have you seen from UNF that has really allowed you to excel this weekend so far?
They've given us a lot of space with taking shots. They've been creating a lot of turnovers in their own end, and it's been a good opportunity for us to capitalize and get a ton of shots. And we found a lot of rebounds, and we've spread ourselves out a lot. So, yeah.
There was also that mad dash right in front that eventually let you give the first one of the game. Considering everything that happened, the craziness in front of the net, what did you see to get that one through the back of the net?
Really, I just saw the puck. I saw a lot of open space between the goalie's legs, and he was sliding across and just found that, and it squirted through.
Now, so far in this 2-game series, you guys have, just by goal differential, have won all 4 periods so far. How do you keep that going for the next 40 for the rest of this match?
We got to keep doing the same thing. We got to keep putting pressure on them. Even with 12 guys or 10 guys, we're really just getting the edge. We've got a lot of cardio, and it's really shown off today, and we can hope that it can continue for the next 40 minutes.
Thank you. Good luck the second, third.
Appreciate it.
That'll be it for us. Asher Berman, forward for the Miami Hurricanes. Second period coming up, 1-0 Canes. Back here for period number 2 at Kendall Ice Arena, where the Miami Hurricanes have a 1-0 lead on the North Florida Ospreys. Asher Berman, we just talked to him after the first period of play. He's got 3 goals in this weekend series so far. He got that one at the 15-10 marker of the first period of play, beating out Matt Maroney, with Jonathan Nas and Nate Koo giving Berman the helpers. Berman, that is goal number 4 on the season for him, while Jonathan Nas and Nate Koo both working off of back-to-back points. And Berman, he's got back-to-back games with a goal. Miami and UNF, they will swap sides. Matt Maroney and the UNF Ospreys, they'll go from right to left for this second period of play, while Jamie Brooks and the Miami Hurricanes, they'll go from left to right to start off period number 2. Ryan Lee and the rest of our Miami Hurricanes Hockey Network crew with you here at Kendall Ice Arena the entire way through. Thank you so much for joining us every step of the way as Miami look for a 4-game weekend sweep, their first one of the season since implementing their 2-team system, since they were able to bring on a team onto the Division II side while keeping on their D3 team. It's been something that has eluded them so far as they look to get the first 4-game sweep of the season, as Miami are already pushing in deep into the North Florida end, only 10 seconds into the second period of play. Miles Hartung, tall but still out of his reach, as he chases back after Brooks settles. Pickpocketed from behind, but Diaz popped the tire, so Hartung's back on it. Hartung flubbed a shot. That one died on the ice a little bit, and now Jonathan Nas has an opportunity to push it forward. Nothing much there, as he was stopped along the way, and Hartung will play it back. Hartung wanted to push it for Nas, but gets stripped away by Magner. Magner absolutely leveled by Hartung as Magner goes towards the bench. Wants to go towards the side of the net, couldn't connect with Diaz, but it's still in front. Magner with a shot, Brooks with a save, still in front of the net. No one able to get it free. Jonathan Nas eventually does, and he starts churning the other direction before he's cut off by Kieser. Charburiak sends this one in deep as Miami makes a wholesale change. UNF will make a sub or 2 as well, as it's back in the UNF side of things. Skinger works the corner, back for Michael Nas, sends it towards net, went off of a leg, as it is going to be Ethan Block coming off of the bench to support. Skinger with Lauer at his knees, neither are able to get it free. Kieser gets it out, but not far enough to start anything for the Ospreys, as Miami cycle it around for Block. Block towards net, Maroney easily kicked out. Held in, Skinger. As Diaz was the lone man back, Diaz has played a vast majority of the ice time for UNF as Lauer winds up but misses the net by a mile. In front of the UNF bench, nothing there, as the substitutions remain clean for the most part, as it's a chance for Louis Del Duco on a 3-on-1. Del Duco off of Baroni, second chance, swing and a miss for Block. Now Jeremy Diaz wants to reverse with a 3-on-2 of their own, but cut off by Michael Nas as it's sent down. Andrew Hutchins continues to slide it through for Jeremy Diaz. The Jacksonville native sophomore continues to fight through as it's sent towards the UNF zone. Puck stalled just before the red line, no icing, as it goes back and forth between the defensive pair for the Ospreys. Michael Nas back at center. Nas, bank it, Berman takes a bump and in. Berman works on Hutchins as they both struggle for the puck in the Zamboni door. Nas keeps it in. Siegerman in there. Not much to go as Hutchins cycles it around for Ethan Block. Hartung keeps it in the blue line. Attempt towards net, cut off. Nas is back. Michael works around, in tight. Backhander wanted to go for a falling shot, but it skimmed off his stick before he could release. Hartung at the line, up top. Maroney settles down. Berman with a chance. Second swing, no one's there. It stalls at the face-off circle, and it's down. Is it enough for icing? It should be, and it will be. A nice sequence of about 4 minutes continuously running there between the Ospreys and the Hurricanes. No one able to make anything go either way as the lone goal fell behind Matt Maroney, the second-year goalkeeper out of Jacksonville. But he has to watch the draw to his left. That's won by Nas with Berman. He's tangled. Sheraburiak. Glove down by Jonathan. In front, Koo! Scooped up by Maroney. Nate Koo has threatened all season long with this Division III side. He did not play the second game of the FAU series last weekend, only played one of those 2 games, but has been here both games in this series versus UNF so far, and he has been excellent with 3 assists in the back-to-back, with Jonathan Nas taking the draw once more against Keijer. He'll win it. Sheraburiak towards net. That got tipped down, but missed the net as well as Koo fights off. Hartung lets it go. In and out of the glove of Maroney. May have taken a touch off of Berman in front as well, creating traffic. Nas wants a deflection, couldn't get it. Hartung keeps it in, but not quite. That looked like in real time it may have just barely stayed inside the blue, but officials say it came back towards center. That's where the face-off will go with 15 and a half. One of 4 teams had 13 games played in the 3rd division of CHS. UNF is one of them. That is tied for the fewest games played. So maybe some of the lack of game reps have not equated to chemistry for UNF as they got to defend. Hartung, Sheraburiak sends it around for Skinger. Skinger and Naj try to get it free. Sheraburiak keeps it in play, but not for long. Allows things to continue for John Magner. In tight, Diaz blocked off by Brooks. And Diaz, frustrated, slams his stick into the wall, but Brooks stays strong the whole way through. And the sophomore from Newburyport continues a string in net where he has been oh so good for this Division III side. Trying to wash off his last game for this D3 team back on the 16th of November, where it was a 1-goal loss to Embry-Riddle. As this puck continues to just ambiguously stop in the middle of play. Maybe some of the Zamboni and ice conditions not letting it slide cleanly, but both sides continuing to make it work as Henry Skinger allows Ethan Block to spring loose. Block towards net, hits off the stanchion as UNF try to clean it up. Carson Schultz. Bank pass for Diaz as he takes on Jonathan Nas. That went off of a leg. Brooks with a cover-up, and Diaz unable to get a second attempt there for the Ospreys as they continue to fight through. And for North Florida, they just want to try to keep it close as much as possible. They've excelled in 1-goal games as they currently are only facing a 1-goal deficit thanks to Asher Berman. Sent in deep, UNF has to retreat, they're offside. Siegerman sweeps it to center to buy some space. A chance to enter for Hutchins. Michael Nas cuts him off. And he's able to get it free for Siegerman. Siegerman trying to evade Carson Schultz as that's sent deep. Adam Lauer, the 1-man deep. Lauer, he's got a man in front, wants to feed it. It's blocked off by Del Duco. Second try, Del Duco there again. Block for Sheraburiak. Sent down by UNF. This should be enough for icing. It is. So with 13 and a half remaining in the second period of play, it has been a much cleaner game defensively on both ends of the ice. Maroney and Brooks have not had to deal with any high danger opportunities on either offensive zone. As Sheriff sends it in deep. Maroney with a first save. Couldn't get the cover up. Second chance, scores! Jonathan Nas makes it 5 goals in 2 games. Miami's up by 2. Another net front scramble, making things difficult for the UNF Ospreys. As the scramble in front, Nas was the beneficiary, able to backhand that one top shelf. Maroney complaining about a potential equipment issue that potentially prevented him from getting back into position. Referees will confer right in front of the scorer's table, and there is a chance this goal could get wiped off if the case is to be made. The original ruling on the ice was a goal, but the officials are discussing in front of the scorer's table. Jonathan Nas, if it stands, will get his 5th goal of the weekend, his 12th goal of the season on 10 games played. And this goal looks like it is going to stand. UNF bench trying to receive an explanation of any kind from the officiating crew, with Maroney complaining about the equipment he was dealing with. And we proceed forward in a 2-0 game. Jonathan Nas, the sophomore from Yardmouth, Port, Massachusetts, continues to lead the team in goals and points. And it's a chance to continue onward as Mile Hartung sprints through but couldn't get any space, and he's back on it again. Trying to work around Andrew Roberts. Jonathan Nas back at the point. Koo in front. Deflects off of some bodies. Bellerman continues. Sheriff Buriak winds up. Took a deflection. Down and out. Berman with excellent traffic up in front. Almost every goal Miami scored yesterday involved some sort of traffic, some way, shape, and form. See what today. Nas in front. Couldn't get the touch he wanted. Koo recovers. Koo. Nas winds up and caught by Maroney. A nice couple opportunities here for Miami as they just continue to cycle this puck all the way around. You could see that setup for Jonathan Nas and the snag there by Maroney. And that is something that Miami really made a point of emphasis in today's game, was just getting those pucks to the net. Because of how vulnerable North Florida have been in their defensive end at points, they want to maximize that, get as many pucks towards net as possible with traffic. And that is another thing that Miami, they've attempted to do all season long, was get those deflections, get those doorstep rebounds. Haven't worked many times throughout the season, but they've worked so far today as the icing gets waved off by Owen Keiser, pinned down by Michael Nas, and this will draw arms up in the air and a whistle. Michael Nas for boarding will be the verdict. A power play coming up for North Florida. And for the Ospreys, they only converted once on their 6 tries yesterday. Let's see if maybe a new day brings a new set of possibilities. This is the first power play for either side today. We've only seen the second penalty sequence of the game. The first one was on 4-on-4 in the first. Wind up from distance, up, out of play. Only 9 elapsed seconds in that first opportunity as the Ospreys try to get a power play goal going after they scored 1 on 6 attempts. However, they have to look out because Miami, they were threatening when reversing the other direction. Diaz from deep into the glove of Brooks again. despite this short bench, this is something that Miami can absolutely use going into next week, going up against the Florida Gators, who have been so strong. They made the playoffs last night, did Florida, but North Florida back on the power play with Schultz. 1:33 remains on the power play for UNF. Jeremy Diaz to the point. Hutchins slaps one through that hits the ceiling. Siegerman goes stick on stick. Nice defensive play there, as Siegerman has had to be impactful on both ends of the ice, as Siegerman and Berman will take a squat, with Koo and Block being the forward pair on the penalty kill. Jeremy Diaz, Block in front of him. Sweeps it around for Keiser. In front, Diaz couldn't get past Hartung. Up, not out. Keiser across, attempted. Koo disrupted, Block out. 1:03 remains in North Florida's power play. Now a minute with 11 1/4 in period 2. 2-0 the Canes lead. Jonathan Nas and Asher Berman the goals. Now Schultz in tight, wanted to wind up. Tries to go for Magner. Couldn't hit the net. Second try goes wide. Diaz works the near side where he's been all game long. Jeremy Diaz looks for an option. Magner. Hutchins. Brooks off a blocker and out. Hartung up, down, assistance from Koo, goes back to center. Hartung again will hold. 21 to go on the man advantage for UNF. Held on by Maroney, as Miami makes a wholesale change. Only 10 seconds left on the power play. An opportunity for Keiser to at least set something up. 5 seconds to go. In front, Schultz can't corral. Block is down and out. We're back to even strength as Diaz sends it across. Magner intercepted. Nate Koo for Block. That slapper gets blocked. Koo drops off. Nas, he's blocked as well. Skinger in support. Del Duco back at center. Couple of sticks try to swing that one down. Jonathan Nas on the entry. He's got Nate Koo open. Tries to go back. Block has a man on him. Sends that one towards the net, but missed. Koo for Nas. In tight. Wants to release. Back to Koo. Wants to go in front. Took a touch. Jonathan Nas. Nas cuts across. Leaves it. Skinger off the side and netted in. Henry Skinger from a sharp angle. He's got goals in back-to-back as well. And Miami bring their lead to 3. Now this is just a nice play here by Miami to maintain possession. And what a solo effort by Jonathan Nas to really bring things open. And usually they say, just get the puck towards the net, good things will happen. That's exactly the case, as Skinger just sent that one through. Maroney could not close up the post. And offside immediately after the face-off try. So that's 2 goals in the second period, coming at 6:37 and 10:30. And this has been something that Miami could definitely use going forward, considering that this is the second to last week for the D3 Canes for the 2024-25 season, unless they're able to qualify for the CHS divisional playoffs here in Coral Springs up at the Den. As the feed attempt comes across, the arm is up. It's a delayed penalty against the Ospreys. Jonathan Nas comes free. At his back, Hartung lets it go. He misses the net. No delay call as it's back for Nick Sanfilippo. Tries to center up. Michael Nas cuts him off. Miles Hartung's got a man up front. He wanted Jonathan Nas, but that goes behind his back. 8.5 to go in period 2. And now a chance to start things as John Raish leaves it. Sanfilippo, wide angle, blocked by Brook. Del Duco the clear. UNF just sends it deep once more as it's Asher Berman on the carry. Nas. That clipped his stick just barely, so icing prevented. As Siegerman tries to step up, coming off of the bench. Back to center was Del Duco for Michael Nas. He's got Jonathan behind him, but Siegerman was offside. He's arguing his case that he was behind the blue line the whole time, but the whistle is the final verdict. And Miami just trying to continue working this excellent play they've had so far in the last couple of days against the UNF side, whose 121 goals were the third most in the division going into the weekend. As Skinger, Kent Corral, block gives it a go. As there was a man behind the net, that was Siegerman, swung up into the ceiling and out. This will make its way back towards the Ospreys' end because of the icing with 7:39, and Miami just trying to hit the magic number, which is 4, because for the Hurricanes, 4 has been a differentiator all season long. They're undefeated when they score more than 4 goals all season long, and they have been unable to win in all of the 11 games that they have scored 3 or less. As Schultz leaves it behind, Brooks with a swallow up after the follow through by Andrew Hutchins, looking for goal number 2 on the season in game number 25. He has points in 2 of his last 3, but was unable to get behind Jamie Brooks last night, and has not been there today either. Back to the point, held on by UNF. Keeping this in is Carson Schultz. Comes back towards the UNF end. Now it's a chance for Ethan Block. He's got to beat out Hutchins. They bang into the boards. Puck still loose. And eventually it gets touched up. The arm is up by the officials. And this will be a hooking that will hold things up. A hooking call against Ethan Block will give UNF their second power play of the night. And this will be a 2-minute power play for UNF. As the faceoff is to Brooks' left. Attempted clear, up in the air. Diaz couldn't get past Brooks. And now a delayed penalty coming up. Scrap into the side. In front, Brooks gloves it in, and it's held on. And more contact coming up as Diaz took a couple swipes at Hartung. Hartung doing what was probably the smart thing and just heads towards the bench. As Diaz, a little bit of frustration in the reins. With Hartung going into the box, this will be a 5-on-3 for UNF. So Hartung is in for elbowing after Block just went in for hooking. So it will be a 1:47 5-on-3 before an extra 13 seconds of power play time comes for the Ospreys. Nas on the draw, Ospreys take it back. Hutchins winds up to a deflection off the post and out. Still on the side of the net, couldn't get through, and Michael Nas sends it down. That was a funky deflection. It went off of Brooks, went off of the post, but did not go past the goal line. UNF still shut out by Jamie Brooks as of now, but they still have a minute and a half of 5-on-3. Keiser. Back for Diaz, has to twirl to retrieve. Keeps it moving as Michael Nas wants to cut off Keiser. Held in, side of the net. Brooks will hold on. As some nice play here by UNF to just keep Miami moving, especially on a 5-on-3. Any opportunity to make use of the space is going to be to their benefit is UNF. And Jonathan Nas has to watch another face-off lost. Diaz. It was Brooks who got the first contact as it comes up in front. Wind up goes off of Brooks. Top of the net. It's up on the roof and it will be held off. It plopped right onto the roof of the net. Did not go in. As we have another 57 seconds, 5-on-3. Diaz tried to go through traffic, couldn't make its way towards net. Back to the point for Hutchins. Hutchins releases. Brooks gloved once more. Sticks go flying all over Michael Nas and Owen Keiser, letting their twigs drop. 1 minute of special teams remains with 47 of those 5-on-3. One thing I'm surprised by, Miami has not attempted anything shorthanded. They're just trying to let Brooks and the defense do their work as they're on it once more with Keiser behind the net. Keiser, Skinger all over him. Plays it back up top, across, Schultz, missed the net. No second opportunity. A flub there, Diaz winds up, Brooks is blocked off again. Shera Buriak, up, not out, Schultz keeps it in. Diaz works the corner. Diaz, across, pass goes awry. Berman, up and out. A dozen seconds remain in the 5-on-3. 13-second discrepancy between 5-on-3 and the power play. 15 seconds now remain in the total power play for UNF as Diaz tries to walk in, missed the net. Berman, can he get the clear? Diaz keeps it in. Now we're 5-on-4. 5 more seconds to go. Keeping it alive is Magner. Can't get it out, it's blocked. Hartung back on the ice. We're back to 5 aside. Eventually keeps it loose. The Hartung's coming off for the box and he's alone. Hartung in front. Held off by Maroney. And he will cover. Hartung coming out of the box had an opportunity to spring loose. Had a little trouble with his footwork, it looked like, as Miles Hartung, you could see he stumbled on his final step right before the windup. And Maroney was able to get across. But good news for Miami, they killed off what was essentially a full 2-minute 5-on-3. It was about 1:47 of it. And Skinger wins it back for Hartung. Lets it go. Maroney clears it out. Into the corner goes John Raish. Back and forth, wide angle, just across the line. In tight, Charburiak, backhand, scores! Arthur Charburiak with his first goal in a Miami sweater. Miami's lead goes to 4. This is another just get the puck to the net play that beat Matt Maroney as the tussle into the corner gives Shera Buriak a chance to cut to the center, just backhands that one towards net, and it looks like Matt Maroney was not tight to his post, and that allowed just that 1/4 of an inch to squeak through and gives Miami a 4-0 lead. With just over 4 to go in the second. In front, a chance, block. Couldn't get that one across. As it's held in, 3 white jerseys to Skinger. That one was off of Siegerman. That deflection just goes right towards Maroney, who will swallow that one up. And Miami getting to 4 goals. They are 3-0-1 when doing so. And that's probably the more surprising thing about this UM side is that they've only scored 4 or more goals 5 times this season. 4 prior to today, and today is the 5th. Actually, before the weekend, they've only done so 3 times. As the last time they were able to score over 4 was back on November 3rd on a road trip in a 4-4 draw against South Florida. As Brooks keeps it moving for Del Duco. He's in a tangle, but lets that one loose. Jonathan Nas back to support as he cycles it around for Nate Koo. Can't get it out. Cut off by Jeremy Diaz on the release. Hits high and wide. Second try off of Brooks on the doorstep. That one just sputters at the side of the net and recovered by Miami. Del Duco for Nas. Now it's the odd man rush. Jonathan Nas in tight. Backhands. Stopped by Maroney. Back to the point it goes. Then it's out. Michael Nas in a tumble. Now is an opportunity for Adam Lauer. Can he get it? No. Opportunities on odd man rushes. Back and forth they go. 2 for UNF and 1 for Miami mixed in as well. As the try from distance, Brooks kicks it away after Keiser let that one fly. Trying to increase his team lead in goals was Keiser, but could not quite do so as Adam Lauer continues movement. Michael Nas sends it for a substitution. Miami will make many of them as North Florida try to fish it out of their own end. Eventually it's Skinger working behind the nets. Skinger bodies off his man, lost a glove, sends it in deep. Nate Koo, side of the net. Koo weaves through. Nas. You got Sharaburiak, he lets that one go. Maroney, loose puck in front. Backhander scores! No, it did not go in across the line. It did not go across the line. That skimmed across, but not in. How did that stay out? Nate Koo had a surefire goal, but cannot put in the 5th. Miami continue to fight. They continue to cycle. Just behind the back of Jonathan Nas, held on by Skinger. He's got Nas alongside him. Skinger off of Maroney. Nas in front wants Nate Koo. Jonathan Nas is there instead. Around the boards and out. UNF send this one down. This should be enough for icing. It is, as it is touched up by Hartung with 1:32 to go in the second period of play. Miami still working with a 4-0 lead. And for UNF, that is a gut punch to say the least. Both teams working with short benches. Miami maximizing every opportunity they've had, and UNF, it's been a struggle bus for them to get anything going on the opposite end. Asher Berman works in tight, wanted the release for Hartung. A couple of blue jerseys there instead. John Raish on the race. Hartung able to win it. Berman, he's got Siegerman alongside. A bit of a flub there. Ethan Block in tight, lets it loose. Off of a skate, couldn't get that one through as we enter the final minute of the second. Shara Buriak wants to tip it in front. Swing and a miss on the side of the net. Ethan Block could not convert. Hartung takes his man out as Berman comes back towards center as we're in the final 50 seconds of the second. Berman in, alone, fires. Maroney covers. Can't get a second chance in front as it popped in and out of the glove. Hartung from deep off of a skate. Block wants Siegerman. Hartung in there as well. Maroney covers, even though that one also skimmed in and out of the glove. But let's take one final look at that opportunity from Koo, what was believed to be goal number 5. And Jonathan Nas has just been doing a real good job looking for the open man. Sharaburiak got the first shot through, and everyone thought it was a cross, but the official immediately waves no the second that one hit Maroney, as that one came across the goal line. That one cannot be kept in the blue line, as Del Duco sends it in deep. Nas in tight off of Maroney, in and out of the glove, side of the net, that one's in. Miles Hartung fights up in front. Miami finally get their 5th. This time it'll count. Hartung, his first 2 goals in back-to-back. Just another opportunity in tight as both teams were really trying to really force the issue, but eventually Miles Hartung just stuck with it in front of the net, pokes it behind Maroney, and Miami gets the 5th just before the expiration of period 2. Is one more on the books in the final 5 seconds of play. Koo, one last shot, cannot let it go, and that'll do it for period number 2 as the 1-goal lead for Miami turns into 5 after the second period of play. A very similar story to yesterday, with a huge jump in offensive production in the second period came yesterday, as is today. A 4-goal period for Miami. Nas, Skinger, Sharaburyak, and Hartong all in the mix. 5-0 after 2. More from Kendall Ice Arena when we return. After 2 periods of play, 5-0 Miami Hurricanes lead over the UNF Ospreys. We have Arthur Sherburyak here for the second intermission report. Now, Arthur, things have really come along for you guys. You got along on the scoring, your first one of the year. Just talk about what you saw during the goal and especially how it felt going across the goal line for the first time.
So yeah, what I saw is when I took the puck and I saw no one was on me. I also saw there was no one really pressurizing me, so I went towards the middle of the ice, and then I just put high down my backhand, I backhanded it in. So I just saw they gave me space, and I just went and took it.
Now, you know, the first portion of the year, the 2024 portion of the year, you weren't really on the score sheet that much, but you really put your stamp onto the score sheet since coming back from winter break. What did you do, maybe in the first semester, or maybe in the intersession, that allowed you to really take a jump going into this 2025 section of the schedule?
Each Wednesday I come to practice, I try my best, I work hard. I try my best every time to improve at least by 1%, and it looks like it's starting to pay off.
Now, one thing we've talked about throughout the broadcast has kind of been a recurring theme with both of the sides is the short benches. How has the extra ice time allowed you to continue that development and really push your game to the next level?
This extra ice time actually really is helping. It's definitely helping me develop, see the ice more, and just like get more used to this new level of hockey because it's way different than high school. And just the more ice time, the better. Each time we get out there, it's gold. So.
You talked about the differences between this college level and the high school level. What's the number one change you say was kind of that learning curve that maybe took that first portion of the season to figure out?
I'll say definitely it's way faster, and as well as it's a lot more physical.
Absolutely. Arthur Sherburyak here, second intermission report. 5-0 Miami Hurricanes lead. We'll be back with period number 3 when we return. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Final period.
Thank you.
third and final period of play. Ready to go here at Kendall Ice Arena in Kendall, Florida, where the Miami Hurricanes have a 5-0 lead on the University of North Florida Ospreys, as it was a 4-goal onslaught to start period number 3 that really sprung UM loose. And right before we get to the start of right before we get to the start of the third period of play, we want to just go over everything that's happened. Things started off in the first period. Asher Berman got the scoring started, and then it was 4 goals in the second period. Skinger, Naj, Sharaburiak, and Hartong all in the mix. And that has allowed UM to gain the 5-0 lead in period number 2. Continue to support the University of Miami Hurricanes all the way through. Consider a donation on Venmo. Every little bit counts, helps towards everything that University of Miami does for the growth and future of the University of Miami Hurricanes.
That's why I drink dark chocolate, because it doesn't have caffeine in it. Milk chocolate does. If I do, I drink decaf. Yeah. My mind, it hurts my head. I get migraines.
We also want to thank our partners at Wells Fargo Advisors. Go to Wells Fargo Advisors for your financial future. Wells Fargo Advisors, the first sponsor of the University of Miami Hurricanes men's hockey program, currently on a 5-0 advantage over the North Florida Ospreys. Matt Maroney has let 5 of them squeak through, and it has been a very successful day so far for Jamie Brooks, as Miami look to get back into the thick of things. Back-to-back wins for the first time this season is the objective. They are 2/3 of the way there. Final 20 to go. Miami in white. Right to left they go. North Florida in the blues. They go left to right. Ryan Lee and our entire University of Miami hockey crew here in Kendall Ice Arena, we appreciate your support all the way through, as Miami looks to get that one through. Hartung kicked away by Maroney. Sharaburiak overskates, and Berman is alongside. This one sent in deep by Miami. North Florida will take over as they want to try a deep try, but it's Sharaburiak who holds on, getting his first collegiate goal in the second period. And Berman tries to fight through, but couldn't get past John Magner, as Magner sends it deep and allows UNF to change. Short benches on both sides, 12 skaters for UNF and only 10 for Miami. Miami also using Jamie Brooks in both games back-to-back, while Matt Maroney did not start yesterday's game. That was Andrew Miller who took the net, but both goalies have had a task in front of them with the Miami Hurricanes, as Jonathan Nas brings that one through before it's collected by Andrew Hutchins. Nas able to strip it away, but Hutchins tries to fight back. Koo and Nas behind the net. It's Koo in front. Block tries to get in front. Loose puck, skims off the goal line and out. Still alive for Miami in the UNF end. Block tries to get it loose. Hutchins gets the dump up out of play. And we're only through about a minute and a half in Miami, already trying to spring on some of their high danger opportunities. This was that fight, that 2-on-1 behind the net that allowed Nate Koo to get the opportunity free, as Block sent that one towards net, and you saw right after Nas got a touch, head went straight to the sky because he knew he had a golden opportunity to get 6 for Miami. But Skinger races back on a couple of these awkward hybrid lines of what's essentially 5 attackers on the ice. UNF, just out of necessity, doing something similar. They've rolled a couple of 5 forward lines out as well. As Jonathan Nas tries to take advantage. Skinzer off of Maroney. Skinger takes a tussle, side of the net, and that one's in! A couple of whacks off the side of the net allows Miami to capitalize. They've got 6. Henry Skinger's got 2 in back-to-back. So just continuously whacking away at the puck, the effort continuing to shine through for the University of Miami. And Maroney, he thought he had that one, but kind of similar to some of the other goals that we've seen from UM. Maroney not squeezing the post as tight as he can, allow that slight gap for Miami to capitalize, and they did once more as Del Duco tries to body off his man Diaz. That one hits the outside of the post. Still alive as a wraparound try. Brooks got a toe to it. Still awry behind the net. No one able to get it free. Up top, Schultz lets it go. Rebound, scores! UNF are finally on the board. Owen Keizer's got back-to-back. Owen Keizer continues leading the team. That's his 12th goal of the year. And this one is just dumped in on the back door. The scramble on the side. Brooks could only stay perfect for so long. You just see the sheer number of bodies right in front of the net. And eventually the release, Brooks the initial save, and Keizer with the bury to make this game 6-1 as we continue things. That's 2 goals between the Ospreys and the Canes in quick succession. And we're not even through 3 minutes yet. Another huge tumble behind the net. A little bit of a grapple as well. And Maroney wants to start, and now we have a pile. A pile up into the corner. No one's able to get it free. Hartung always in the mix of those scraps. We saw a lot of this yesterday too, where once the gap increases, the tempers arise. And Miami's coach, Vincent Shipp, he is not having it right now. Hartung already into the box. Siegerman will join. And the question is will anyone in blue go to the box as well? Jeremy Diaz appears to be the one man. And Keizer might be joining him. So right now, it looks like Miami and North Florida are both going to send 2 guys into the box. Siegerman and Hartung are both in the sin bin for UM as Coach Shipp, you see him in the suit right next to Hartung. He continues to argue his case. But now it is already on the scoreboard. There's 2 penalties for Miami. The question is, what do we get out of UNF as we saw that tumble through right at the latter portion of that last sequence as the kerfuffle actually was what caused the whistle in the first place. So we do have Keizer up on the board, just no number attached to him. As the officials try to explain to head coach Vincent Shipp, they actually took down Keizer and Hartung's penalty. There's a chance that, especially considering the events of yesterday, this could be a 2 and a 5. And it could just be a couple of 5s for UNF. Miami's got 5 on the ice right now. UNF are currently sending out 4. The lone penalty on the board has gone to Dylan Siegerman. So it will be a 5 for Diaz and Hartung. Siegerman serves the extra. Miami will go to the power play. UNF will go to the power play. Siegerman gets the extra penalty. As we play on. So Siegerman gets the extra 2. Hartung and Diaz both in for 5 apiece. But those 2 5s will not go up on the board. So UNF will get a power play. That one skims across. Koo tumbles. That one slapped in from deep as it's wide of the net from Andrew Hutchins. Adam Lauer around for Del Duco. 25 already burned off for the power play for North Florida. Lauer on the far side, swings it back around, and unable to keep it in is Hutchins. Koo and block the attacking pair for University of Miami with Del Duco and Sheraburiak up back. Nate Koo just overtouched it just a bit, couldn't get a breakaway, but he continues to fight for possession, shorthanded into the corner with block on the wraparound, couldn't get past Maroney. An opportunity, it goes from Magner to Raish. 50 seconds left to go on the power play. Bodies continue to collide as Koo eventually gets it out. Carson Schultz. UNF will make a change. That one hit a stick, up and out of play with 15:45 to go in period number 3. 37 on the man advantage for the Ospreys in Miami. Something they really did a lot yesterday, not so much today, was take advantage of the counter attack. We saw Nathan Koo on that last try. He couldn't get it through. 3 shorthanded goals for Miami yesterday. And I'm surprised Miami hasn't tried to go on the counterattack more when shorthanded, as that face-off was maybe inches away from going much worse, as Jonathan Nas sends that one down. Deflection from Raish. Doesn't go anywhere as Berman holds on. Backhander towards Maroney, bobbled into the area, and it's covered up by Matt Maroney. And this is these shorthanded opportunities that Miami really excelled at yesterday, but really have struggled with so far today, as Berman just fights for possession into the corner, wanted the back door. And those opportunities, especially with traffic in front of the net, was why Miami was able to get to such incredible opportunities shorthanded last night. But so far today, they've been thwarted on a man down as Berman tries to send it through, but it goes off the side of the net. Ospreys attempt to get it out with Lauer. Del Duco. Back to 5-on-5, 5 minutes into the third period, where Miami's a 5-goal lead. Koo cuts in, tries to get it through, as that goes stick on stick, up and over. So Miami's Division II team, they are in Daytona up against Embry-Riddle, where they are knotted up at 2 apiece. And UM looking for their first 4-game sweep, as a whistle from the fans forced everyone to stop, and now it's a chance to spring loose. Saved by Brooks on the attempt by Magner. Second try goes off the side of the net. Diving sweep away, no one able to get it free, and now a chance for Koo to get Nas loose. Nas holds in, just couldn't get it through, as Nas continues to fight for it behind the nets. Andrew Roberts. That went past Del Duco, so it's a collection for Magner. Magner, Hartung levels him and just bodies him off the puck. And that will be a stoppage in play. So things got whistled down because Magner got absolutely leveled on the hip check by Hartung. Completely legal, but the helmet came flying, and that held play off. Some child from the fans thinks it's funny to continuously whistle in the middle of play, which is causing mass confusion on the ice. Brooks plays it behind the net, leaves it behind for Hartung. Block, gets it free, Jonathan Nas. Tries to get forward, leaves it behind. Hartung was not in support, as that one comes in front. No one able to get it clear. Hartung keeps it in deep. Side of the net, comes in and scores. Ethan Block continues pushing forward, gets it across the line. Miami's got 7. Another one of those effort plays from UM as Ethan Block joins the party as the continuous tussle on the side of the net. Block just gets the last touch on it. Maroney got some, but not all. And the little poke by Block was enough to get it across. And that will be Ethan Block's first goal of his University of Miami career. The freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona, coming out of Notre Dame Prep, gets his first goal in the University of Miami sweater. And Miami are up 7-1. Hartung lays down his man again. That time it was Adam Lauer, and it allows the puck to come free. Lauer slow to get up. Hartung comes back in reverse. Here come the Hurricanes as they try to cut in tight. Sheriff Buriak can't get free. Comes for Ethan Block in front. Wants Siegerman. Backhander skims off his stick. Lauer can't get that one up, eventually does. Delayed penalty coming up against the Ospreys. Hartung using the frame to body off his man with 12.5 in the third. 7-1 Miami. Hartung continues to use the frame to maintain possession as that one goes off of the skate of Block. Hits center. Caden McGraw with the touch-up. And this will be a power play against the Ospreys. So Andrew Roberts will go into the box for a illegal contact to the head. And Miami will be on their first power play of the afternoon. Roberts into the box. Nas on the face-off. He's got Keijer opposite. Both Keijer and Nas have had goals in both games in this series. However, Nas was able to get 4 yesterday. Keijer's only got 1 in each game. Across, Koo. Couldn't get it through as it's held on. Back to the point, Del Duco. Del Duco hesitates. Koo can't get the feed. It's cut off by Keijer, and Brooks pushes it aside as Del Duco will retreat. 1:33 on the man advantage for Miami with 11:45 in the third period. Nate Koo sends it up Jonathan Nas. He's got a man all over him, continues to fight through. Nas over skates as the Ospreys get it out. Skinger and Schultz chase back with 1.25 on the man advantage for Miami. Skinger cut off by Keijer. And now it's Keijer attacking, shorthanded. Crooks with a save, second chance is wide. 60 seconds, man up Miami. Stuck in the corner, it's glued. No one able to get it free. Skinger circles it for Nas. Here goes Jonathan. He continues to work it, and Maroney will gobble that one up with just under 11 in the third. Miami have another 41 to work with. And for UM, they really want to try to take everything they've gotten so far this weekend and transfer it into their back-to-back next week versus the University of Florida Gators, their D3 squad next week. And that'll be a quadruple header here at Kendall with the D2 side playing their senior night against Florida Southern. And that will be a huge hit and a penalty against UNF. Lauer just turns around. This will be a quick 5-on-3 for Miami. 34 seconds to be exact before another 1:25 of power play time. Block's back was to the play and he got absolutely railed by Lauer the first year from St. Augustine. And he wants to pull him out, and let that one free. They're going to redact the power play, actually. Lauer was in, the arm was up, as Vincent Ship once again trying to get an explanation, because Lauer was full on in the box, and the referees waved him off to come back on, as Coach Ship just tries to get any explanation. Nonetheless, Miami, they're still on the man up for at minimum 34 seconds with 10:49 in the third, as they're still up by a half a dozen. Hartung down deep. Raish hits the netting, and Miami continue to work. And this could absolutely be the springboard that Miami needs to continue pushing on. Their bid for the potential playoffs is not over, coming at the end of February from the 20th to the 23rd over at the Coral Springs Ice Den, where the D2 and Division III College Hockey South playoffs will be played. And Miami's D3 squad just trying to make it in, as is the D2 team. The D2 team making it all the way to the D3 CHS Championship. Maroney gloves it down, second chance for Hartung, scores! Miles Hartung with his second, and he had 2 goals on the season going into today. He doubles that total. He's got 4 on the season. 8-1 Miami. Just another one of those plays where you just continue to get bodies into the net and just let things work. That puck sputtered through. Hartung steps in, and it was slapped home by the 6'4" first year to make it 8-1 as Brooks pokes it along. Keiser gets laid out as Nas sends it along for Koo. Nate Koo puts on the brakes, wanted Nas in front, sends it back for block. Strikeout there on the attempt as Hartung has to race back. He's got Keiser behind him. As a little bit of miscommunication, no one gets it back as Hartung will claim it. As we're half a minute past the 10-minute mark. And McGraw fluttering. Jeremy Diaz. Jeremy Diaz lets that one rip as it's blockered away by Brooks. Diaz continues behind the net. Del Duco crashes in. Shiver Buriak tries to scoop it out, and he does. 9 minutes to go in the final period of play. Miami up by 7. Jeremy Diaz on the touch, but Del Duco bumps him off. Nas couldn't get that one swept out. It'll just flutter behind Brooks's net. Block and Raish sizing each other up before tangling at the back part of the net. Jonathan Nas, a 1v2. Nas cuts across, lets that one go. That sputters towards Maroney, who just got enough of it to get it away from frame. Skinger lets it loose, and Maroney will hold on. Into the weekend, Miami lost their last 5 games before Friday by a combined goal differential of 34-11. And so far, this has been an excellent week for UM as their 2 games of the weekend. A combined 18-4, they lead. The Canes do 10-3 last night, 8-1 so far today. Ospreys quick on the draw, so they have to reset and for UNF. They're just trying to make up anything after a very slow start to the season. Didn't get their first win in regulation until the 22nd of November against USF, and then followed that one up with another regulation win against USF as well to start off 2025. So they're just trying to continue momentum as the bodies hit the floor, and no penalty, but that will be icing. The initial arm went up for a split second after Sanfilippo fell backwards on the ice, not on a stick, but after a quick second of consideration, the officials wave it off. And with 8 minutes to go, Miami will come back here to Kendall Ice Arena for a doubleheader on senior night. For D3, those two games against the University of Florida Gators, and then D2 will be here as well. Those ones coming up in a AAU Nationals rematch against the Florida Southern Moccasins. Skinger just a touch offside. Siegerman couldn't come back. Couple of notable names missing from yesterday's game. John Joyce, Luca Fox, Adam Berg being a big one. Rory Dawson missing from the mix as well. Especially for Berg, he's usually part of the D2 side, but made his contributions felt on the D3 game yesterday. Just nothing in terms of the score sheet or the points department, but a couple of things in the support and retrieval aspect of things, as well as the two-way forward that Adam Berg has provided all year, being able to be both a penalty killer and in last night's game a power play member as well, as that one skimmed out of play. And for next week, it's really going to be interesting in terms of how Tom Amello and Vincent Shipp want to continue play going into next week. It'll also be an emotional one as it's senior night for the Canes next week, as Nas tried to send it through, but Keiser cuts him off. Brooks way out of the net to play that one out. And it's held in. Try from distance. Brooks in and out of the glove, so Hartung will take it from here. And in and out of the glove of Jonathan Nas. He lets that one fall. Nas, he's in. He shoots. Maroney will cover. So Miami likely to cross the double-digit points threshold of the season. They only had 9 going into today, 7 going into the weekend. But with what is most likely going to be back-to-back wins, it could propel them past 10 points to keep them in the running for the College Hockey South playoffs. And they're one step closer to a potential 4-game sweep on the weekend. They're looking to do so for the first time since converting their lone D3 squad into 2 teams of D2 and D3 in AAU and CHS. Despite a slow start for both UM sides, they've really picked it up in the 2025 portion of the schedule. This D3 squad most likely chasing what would be going 500 as Hartung tries to go in tight. Backdoor, couldn't get it poked through as Jonathan Nas got a touch, not all. Second try, up and out. The D2 team currently up on Embry-Riddle. Embry-Riddle 11th in Division II of CHS with their 15 losses, 5 wins, an overtime win, and a draw is what they have, are the Embry-Riddle Eagles, currently sitting in 12th place in CHS as Block couldn't get the touch through. And the Florida Southern Mocs having had struggles all season long, as that one is through. Ethan Block gets another, and that's back-to-back for Ethan Block. 9-1, Miami leads. Ethan Block's got 2, his first 2 goals of his CHS career. And Miami already attacking once more. So they're going up against a familiar opponent in Embry-Riddle, who are currently in 12th of the 14 teams in Division II. And then Florida Southern, they've had some struggles themselves. 4-10-2, 12 points they've amassed over the season so far, or Florida Southern. They're trying to catch Clemson for that final spot in the D2 playoffs that will be played up in the Ice Den, only about an hour north of here, as Hutchins will attempt to enter, can't get past Sheriff Buriak. Half a minute past 5 as it just drops for Roberts. Siegerman back, had a goal and assist last night. Hasn't been on the score sheet yet today, but has had himself quite a large improvement from the beginning portion of the season, as has a lot of these D2 guys. We heard it from that intermission interview from Arthur Shara-Buriak of the increased ice time due to the decreased number of bodies. Strip away, Skinger tries to fight off Raish. Skinger couldn't get past San Filippo. Stepping in is Del Duco. Block with the assistance into the UNF bench. And that'll be a quadruple header here next week with those back-to-back games with Division II against Florida Southern and D3 going up against the Florida Gators Division III squad. And there's also some extra stakes in the mix because Miami will be likely playing for a playoff spot in what will be their final 2 games of the season in Division II. Division III is a little up there, but is not out of the realm of possibility. In front, scramble, Brooks couldn't get that one out as it eventually makes its way back in. San Filippo and Keiser both in the mix. And the question here is who will take credit for the goal. It will be, it looks like they're gonna let Keiser lead the line. They're not even gonna bother with a handshake, but Keiser's got 2 goals today. Both of them coming in the 3rd period. 4:34 remains in this game, 9-2 Miami leads. And UNF bringing some fight into a game where they have pretty much lost it for the first 40, 50 minutes really. And now Hartong couldn't get on the backhand. Attempted clear, goes out for UNF. Out of range for Del Duco. Hartong tries to squeeze inside. Keiser just coming off of his 2nd goal, out of range for Magner. Magner tries to work around Del Duco. Wraparound attempt, Brooks holds it off. Diaz, he's in. Kicked out Brooks. Skinger slips and slides as he crosses the red line into the blue. Skinger releases, scores. 10 for Miami. Back-to-back games. The first and 2nd time all season Miami scored 10, and they've come both against UNF. That is a combined 20-5 goal differential on the weekend for Miami. And if they want to make the CHS playoffs, something that their next opponent, the Florida Gators, did yesterday, they're going to need to put up similar performances like today. And this is the 7th game that UNF have allowed over 10 goals. You can see Miami still bringing the effort, bringing some applause from their bench. Henry Skinger comes in tight. Skinger has Koo in the low slot, doesn't go there. Skinger across, block, couldn't get the feed. He was looking for the hat trick for block. As some nice consideration there from Berman trying to get the feed off for Ethan Block, looking for his first collegiate hat trick after scoring his first collegiate goals today. And a quick tumble. Koo tries to get it loose. For North Florida, it's been a lot of bad going in on worse. As in all 14 games they've played, they've allowed over 5, and when they've done so, they have yet to win when that happens. 2 1/4 in the game with Miami up by 8. Hartung. No really sense of urgency there, but goes for Nas. Flutters up. Stick down by Hartung. Scramble side of the net. Maroney keeping it out. Shira Buriak from distance. Wide of the net. Just under 2 to go. Hartung lays out his man, Raish. A little bit of an Allen Iverson step over on Raish was Hartung, as that comes back towards the UM end with 1:42 in regulation. So both games will happen on the 7th and 8th next weekend. D2 will start both days with their matchup against Florida Southern. That will be followed by the Division III team going up against the Florida Gators. So D3 will come second. D2 will play first. Both games happening on the 7th and the 8th, and some potential senior day festivities as well for both teams, as it will be the final home game for the seniors. As Jonathan Nas lets the one go off the post and around. Block lays into his man, unable to retrieve as it's stuck underneath the little pile up there. Del Duco tried to get out of there because it was stuck under him. Hand passes the whistle back in the UNF end of things. Del Duco going face to face with Keiser, who has some words. And we've seen this time and time again. Skinger trying to point scoreboard right now, as Keiser very not thrilled, to say the least, of the results of this game so far. Ethan Block just trying to do the responsible thing, get his guys out of there. And UNF and UM having to separate with only 102 seconds remaining in the third period of play. UNF will have to go back on the road at the end of the month on the 22nd to play Georgia Southern in a matinee game at 12 in the afternoon. And Keiser still not letting it go. And we've seen some fight and some ejections come last night in that 10-3 game. We could potentially something here or something similar in this 10-2 match with 1:40 to go. Diaz kicking it in, and there's 11. Ethan Block with a hat trick, 11 for Miami. And there's 1:35 left to go in regulation. It's 11-2 Miami. And after all that, Dylan Siegerman into the box for taunting. That's just going to be what is essentially a 5. They'll put that at 2, so Miami will be shorthanded the remainder of the game after Siegerman sent to the box for taunting after pointing scoreboard after that last play. And North Florida just trying to get anything they can. And what an excellent offensive performance from the Miami Hurricanes. 35 goals across 14 games. They've scored 21 goals across their last 2. The question is whether that pressure can be sustained against the Florida Gators, who have already made a playoff bid, as we're in the final minute of the third period of play. UNF, 1 game remains in their schedule. Miami, 2 games remain on theirs. Hartung fishes it out, sends it around and out. The Hurricanes D2 side trying to hold on to Embry-Riddle, where they're stuck at 3 in the third period. That one is sent down. Jonathan Nas out. Final half a minute of play. Miami will remain shorthanded the rest of the game. I'm sure that's probably a relief for them because they have been shorthanded on the bench for this entire game as Skinger continues to push along. Final 12 seconds remain. Miami will advance 4-9-3 as the North Florida Ospreys will drop to 4-10 on the season. Still unable to get a win on the road, Miami will get their first win in back-to-back games. First set of back-to-back wins for the Miami Hurricanes. They'll win this one 11-2 with huge performances across the board on the weekend. Jonathan Nas, a combined 7 points on the weekend. Henry Skinger, a combined 5 points, 4 goals on the weekend. Ethan Block gets a pair today. Nate Koo with a total of 4 assists. Shara Buriak getting his first goal collegiately. And Asher Berman, 3 goals in 2 games. That'll be it for us and the rest of our broadcast here on the University of Miami Hockey Network. Thank you so much for joining us the entire way through. Final score, Miami with 11, North Florida 2. One final thank you for everyone for supporting us the entire way through on the University of Miami Men's Hockey Network.